How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me at Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting through my website, emailrevealer.com. But it's best to just email me directly at oppermaninvestigations@gmail.com. If you like our show, check out the Patreon. That's where we put up exclusive content. There's a lot of free content on there too, as a matter of fact. I just got my hands on the 4-hour police body cam and dash cam videos of the 4-hour standoff of Joel Greenberg when they went over there to arrest him that night. And he's talking about how he has termite, IEDs planted in his lawn. And it's great stuff because the cops are talking about, oh, yeah, he was chatting with the little kids on his computer. They're talking about a lot of stuff that's not in the news that hasn't been charged with yet. So that's in the free section on the Opperman Report Patreon. Check that out. I got an interview, too, with Norman Pardo going up there, too, as well, one of OJ's buddies. But our archives are always free. Go to Spreaker.com. We got a chat room there, and you get an email notification anytime we put up new content. Okay, so I heard through the grapevine, or I guess I heard somewhere, about Kanye West and his internet postings were disturbing to some people. So I says, okay, where can I find this stuff? I was looking around for it, and everyone pointed to me to this fellow named Rap Game Edward Bernays, who has a Twitter account called Edward Bernays, Edward_Bernays. And they said, Ed, go see this guy. He's the expert on Kanye. So Mr. Rap Game Edward Bernays, are you there?
Hey, Ed. Great to chat with you. One Ed to another.
Yeah, 2 Eds are better than one, right?
Yep.
Okay. Did you ever hear that joke before?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too. Okay. All right, so tell us about yourself. Before we get into Kanye West and Pete Davidson and Courtney and all these people, right, Kardashians, who is Rap Game Edward Bernays?
Yeah, I'm, this, by the way, this is like my first podcast. This is a Rap Game Edward Bernays voice reveal, I suppose. But I'm originally from LA. I grew up in LA. I was a young creative, so to speak. And I sort of, failed at the creative Hollywood game at a young age, or gave up on it, and moved to Sweden about 10 years ago. And now I live in Sweden. And I don't want to say too much about myself, but I work in marketing out here, hence the name Edward Bernays. And I'm a huge Kanye apologist and also schizo poster on Twitter. And for a while I was just a nobody Loby, and then I had some threads start blowing up like last fall, and since then I guess I've become quite a divisive figure on lefty Twitter because of my Kanye takes and other takes.
How'd you wind up in Sweden?
Through a typical way, romance, met a Swedish girl, but then also, I've been very anti-American for a while, and so I also came here for the socialism. I studied here for free. the healthcare, just the whole socialism, all that stuff, or social democracy, whatever you want to call it. Life is good out here.
So you find the quality of life to be much better?
Yeah, especially, during COVID, I have no regrets about moving here, especially in a post-COVID world. So yeah, Sweden's not perfect, but it's, much happier here and much less schizophrenic and paranoid than I was when I was living in LA.
Now, do you have citizenship over there?
Yeah, I got
Really?
citizenship. Yeah,
Okay.
which was really nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great, man, and no regrets, huh?
Yeah, I love it out here.
No, I know, America sucks, man.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. But hey, I'm American, so I can say that.
Yeah. All right, so tell us about who is, for the people listening, they're driving along in their car in, let's say, Sarasota, Florida. Okay, they're 85 years old.
All right.
Who is Kanye West?
I think Kanye West is like the most visionary and influential artist of the 21st century thus far. But he's also a very complicated person, and he's had a pretty bumpy career with a lot of controversies, obviously, as we all know. And yeah, he's gotten a lot of, he's kind of been the public enemy number one, I guess, until Trump came along. But for a long time, he's been a pretty hated figure, demonized by the media. And I guess that's what's kind of made me into an apologist of his, that, I know he's not perfect. He disappoints me a lot. But I just feel like I've been a longtime fan of his, love his music, love his interviews. I just think he's such an amazing, interesting character, and so I kind of become, I guess, a Kanye contrarian, just because I feel like he's just so demonized by the entire media. So I try to lean more into defending him, even though I know he's a flawed and character, and he disappoints me often. So just so anyone who follows me or goes and sees any of the posts we might talk about, I kind of just turn up the dial to 11. You don't have to tell me that Kanye is not Jesus, that he's not a perfect person. I know that, but, I kind of like to troll and go extra hard for him to kind of combat the anti-Kanye propaganda,
Yeah, it's funny, because I really wouldn't know any of his music. Maybe if you told me and it was a song I recognized, but I wouldn't know, but the first time he came on my radar, many years ago, it was on one of those reality punked candid camera type TV shows. I think it might have been Ashton Kutcher, and where he was filming a music video, and they had men dressed up as police come and try and seize the videotape from him. And I remember he took the material and he ran into a trailer, he locked himself in. That it just seemed so bizarre. Like, what kind of a prank or a punk is that? We bring cops to harass a guy's work,
Yeah, wow, okay, I don't even remember that punk. I gotta go back and watch that. That's crazy. But yeah, I'm seeing the headlines here. Yeah, I see a still of him grabbing the footage.
Yeah.
But see, this is why I love Kanye, because, this is interesting. He, what I love about him is I think he's so genuine, and, everyone calls him a narcissist and biggest ego in the world. And he does have a big ego, but I think rightfully so, because he's an amazing artist. But I think that, he's super committed to his art and innovate. There's so many celebrities, so many pop stars that they're just products, they're just spokespeople, they're just puppets. And I've always loved Kanye because he's so dedicated. And yeah, sorry, I'm seeing this still of him fighting over the film role. Is such a perfect example of that. He's a guy who will fight someone for his art.
Yeah, but and also too, he seemed very hurt. He was very hurt that they were trying to take away his art.
Yeah.
It really struck me, and it stayed with me that they were abusing him. That was a trauma causing act against Kanye.
Well, my theory on Punk'd is it's all a CIA op to bully celebrities into shutting up about 9/11 or whatever, and not so. It makes sense to me that they targeted him and would harass him like that. Which I believe he's just been sort of psychologically harassed by those type of folks for his entire career, and maybe we can get into that.
Go take it away. Go.
Okay, yeah, well, we got connected talking about the recent stuff with the Super Bowl, and I had a thread about that, and we can get into that too, but, it's sort of a background. I have a lot of, key moments in Kanye's career that I like to point back to kind of defend him or explain why he's so complicated, but I'd say the one I would start with, I think, where his entire bumpy career started was the George Bush doesn't care about black people thing during Katrina, which, by the way, that was, that's, again, when I say I really am such a big fan, because I think he's a super genuine dude, and he's not like these other cookie cutter celebrities that just read whatever script their managers or their agents or whatever put in front of them. So that was in 2005, right when Hurricane Katrina was going on. I mean, I think everyone remembers the soundbite of George Bush doesn't care about black people, but that whole, besides, something people forget about is, besides the George Bush comment, he was like, first of all, he was saying, he was talking about how guilty he is, that, that he's rich and he sees what's going on, and he feels so guilty about his wealth while people are drowning in Katrina. And by the way, that's another thing I love about him. He's always been very self-aware and introspective about his fame and his wealth. But then he gets into it and saying, they show white people, they say they're looking for food, they show black people, they show they're looting. And then he literally says and they've given permission to shoot us, or, he called out the government, all those conspiracies about the American sniper dude or whatever shooting at people. He said that on national TV. That's the part that people forget about that rant or whatever. But then, and then he ended it, of course, with George Bush doesn't care about black people. And then it awkwardly cut to Chris Tucker, which is so hilarious and so perfect. That's like the simulation winking back at us that Chris Tucker, Epstein buddy, they cut to him. And here's where I guess this is let's go schizo now, that wait,
let me tell you for a second, okay? First, it was funny too. Austin Powers standing next to there, deer in the headlights, Mike Myers. Yeah. But let me tell you something, man. When he was talking about Katrina, I was watching live on the news when the president was going to show up there for a photo op, right? Mm-hmm. And Secret Service showed up, and they had pickup trucks with machine guns mounted on the top of the truck, standing up, and they took over an intersection and fired in each direction. I saw this live on TV.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So this happened, man. This happened.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't have to Katrina. Yeah. You're already Katrina pilled. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, that happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but and that's what's crazy. People think, everyone writes off that rant as, oh, he just called George Bush racist. Yeah. But he actually said, a lot more provocative stuff than that by, calling out that stuff. But what I was going to get to is that, here's where here's where it gets a little crazy, is my theory is that was 2005, and then, I don't know if you're aware of this, but his mother died 2 years later in, I believe, November 2007.
Right, and Oprah was involved, and some weird Oprah doctor, right?
Well, that sounds familiar, but the key thing I know what happened was that she had sort of a pretty routine plastic surgery. I think it was liposuction and something else. And then she went home. There wasn't any complications in the surgery. She went home. She was recovering. And Kanye's cousin, who was a registered nurse, was, meant to be her caretaker. And make sure, that she was recovering well. I guess, Kanye was on tour or something. And then, I think it was within 24 hours, she died. And apparently what happened was Kanye's cousin, the nurse who was supposed to be responsible for her, he left her with his friend who had no medical training or anything, and went to a birthday party or something like that. And then she apparently he had fed her a bunch of painkillers. It was something like she had like 20 painkillers in her, and she choked on her own vomit. And the guy who was there, supposed to be watching her, didn't notice that or help her there. So that's what it was super suspicious to me, and people did raise suspicions. And there was something about they did say she had a pre-existing condition, or it was heart failure involved, but she also choked on these pills or on her vomit. But a law got passed, like Donda's law, about okay, before plastic surgery you have to have pre-existing condition checks or whatever. But there was, the media didn't go full conspiracy on it, but people were talking about what happened here? Why did this cousin let this happen? How could this happen?
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Routine plastic surgery, ends up her dead 24 hours after the surgery. So my whole theory is, I don't know, I think that was a message to Kanye, maybe from the Bush family or someone similar. I sort of feel like that was Kanye paying his price for his Bush rant. That's my theory on it, and that's kind of the starting point of where I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think Kanye has been sort of MK'd, psychologically harassed, whatever, brainwashed by a lot of spooky folks, basically ever since that Katrina rant. And Donda's death, I think, was related to it.
Okay, well, that reminds me of a concert. I saw some concert footage where he was accusing, this is recent, during the Trump administration, and he was accusing JC of pointing assassins at his head.
Yeah, well...
or at his brain?
That was, I believe, yes. Okay, that was another event I wanted to talk about. That was his 2016, when he was on his St. Pablo tour. This was right around the election of 2016. And that was the tour he had to cancel after he went on a rant. He started a show, and he just, no songs played. He just started ranting, or maybe he played one song, but he went in this rant, and that was the rant when he said, he called out a lot of powerful people. First, it was, okay, Trump had already won when this happened. So the first thing he said is Facebook and Google lied to you. They told you Hillary was going to win. The whole media, everyone told you Hillary was going to win, but they lied to you, and Trump won. So he was sort of calling out Facebook, Google, and Hillary, and all the media, saying that they lied to everyone about the election. And then he called out Jay-Z and Beyonce. He was saying, Jay-Z, I know you got shooters. Don't send them at my head. Please don't send them at my head. He also called out Beyonce. He said these award shows are fake or whatever. Beyonce refused to go to the VMAs unless she was going to win Video of the Year or something. He was exposing, at the very least, he was exposing some stuff about Beyonce and the sort of behind the scenes stuff that goes on with these award shows, that they're maybe not as spontaneous as they might like to present themselves, But that was the rant. He went on that rant, and then this was another major turning point in his career. This was when the tour had to be canceled. He got in a huge lawsuit with either Live Nation or whatever the big money company behind the tour was, because they said that he violated his contract because he was smoking marijuana, and that caused him to go crazy, and that caused him to have a mental breakdown on stage. But this is another thing, is and they threw him in the mental hospital, right. And he was in the I don't know exactly how long he was, but I know he disappeared for about a year. I think I just saw on his Wikipedia it said no one saw him for 11 months or something. And then he talked about that in that famous TMZ interview where he said slavery was a choice.
Right.
He talked about it in that interview where it was very, very suspicious of, I look at Kanye as like Black Britney, I think he's in a Britney Spears type situation because he talks about like they threw me into mental hospital, they forced these drugs on me, I hated the drug, they kept changing my medication, it kept messing with my head. But it's very strange when you hear that like, I mean, okay, of course he has a wife, he has Kim, I guess in California they can 5150 you, so it makes sense. But it sounded like he has absolutely no control over his own life, that like, he can't decide if he wants to be on pills or not. Like, and he was like, on TMZ, like he was very emotional while he was talking about this, and it's quite like frightening to hear him talk about it. But that comment about Jay-Z was that whole shenanigan of him having to cancel his tour and getting a huge multi-million-dollar lawsuit with Live Nation or the tour company. I read a weird blind item. I think it's been deleted. I haven't been able to find it again, but I remember reading a blind item saying that like Kanye, that whole thing of the canceling the tour, something about like Jay-Z like garnishing all of his earnings to like pay it off or something. I wish I could find it again. I think NT deleted the blind item because I haven't been able to find it. But I remember reading something very strange of like, that he was in so much debt to Live Nation or whatever, and Jay-Z basically was like took over all his money, and that's, I think that's why people say he went in the religious route. Apparently, I think NT thought that Kanye was going through religion because he was trying to make money off Christianity, because that was a way he could get money in his own pocket, because Jay-Z was taking all of his music money and his, merchandise money and all that stuff.
For the audience, what Rap Game Edward Bernays is talking about is NT Lawyer, who's an entertainment lawyer, who has a website with blind items called Crazy Days and Nights. And if you go into the Opera Report archives, he's been on our show.
Yeah, okay, sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
I assume that your listeners were probably aware of him. But yeah, and by the way, about, no disrespect to him if he's your former guest, but
that's fine.
I don't know how much I trust a lot of his blind items, because he seems to have a very, very strong grudge with Kanye, and so some of them I question, but then again, I don't know, some of them. He has one that's really crazy about where this gets into like the satanic stuff and Illuminati and whatever, but like he's got this one about how like Jay-Z brought Kanye into the OTO stuff, the Crowley stuff, and like I think Jay-Z got weirded out by like weird poop stuff they do or whatever, and Kanye. But he got really into it. It was something about Kanye being banished from the cult, from the satanic cult, and then him wanting to start his own cult to compete with it or something. But like, I don't know. That one kind of tripped me out. I've thought about that one a lot. I think there could be some truth in that, but I've seen other blind items. Okay. I appreciate his blind items, but I feel like he's on the opposite side of the Kanye spectrum from me, where he just bashes him a lot,
But this kind of stuff, like this kind of occult symbolism and stuff, like there was that magazine cover that was very, very odd of him and the Kardashian family, and the Kardashian family themselves seem to be some kind of a cultish type product. Well, what the hell's going on there,
Well, yeah, that tripped me out. Shout out to Jimmy Fallon Gong on Twitter. He's got an amazing thread about the family lineage of the Kardashians going back a few generations, and how, I don't know, Kim's great-grandfather or grandfather, whatever, a few generations back was like a spiritual preacher, grifter type guy who went around the country doing weird spiritual preaching. So that's another thing is people joke and call them witches and stuff, and that they just cast spells on all these black men and make them their husbands. But there is some truth to that they do have a history of some spooky stuff.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jimmy Falun Gong. We've had him on the show a few times too, as well, so people can check that at the Spreaker archives. So, what do you think, man? I get kind of a vibe off Kanye. He's into there's some kind of occult symbolism going on. What's his background? What's the deal with that?
You mean like his childhood and stuff?
No,
or?
Is he into the occult? Is he using this occult symbolism? It seems to be all over.
Well, yeah, this is like the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Is Kanye good or evil? And that is the thing that I think the optimist in me tries to lean and hope that he is good. But a lot of people, there is a lot of things that points to the evil stuff. Where I'm at personally is I feel like I think there is truth to that NT post I was talking about. That I think he blew up. He became one of the biggest artists in the world in mid 2000s. Then the stuff with his mom happened. I think if he got involved in that stuff, I think it might have been around the Watch the Throne era when him and Jay-Z did their joint album, which would have been like 2010 or 2011. I definitely think he's dabbled with that stuff at the very least, but again, the optimist in me hopes. It seems like he might have had a falling out. He might have, he's definitely had lots of falling out with lots of powerful people, but or he might have got spooked out by it. I don't know, but I don't think he's currently involved in it. Some people do. Some people, he's on this Christian thing now. He goes really hard for Jesus. He became, after this mental breakdown I talked about, he got really into Christianity and just making Christian music and stuff. And he said, like, I used to make music for the devil, but I don't want to do that anymore. Now I make music for God. And some people say that that's all a front and that he's really satanic and he's, I don't know, the Antichrist or something. He's just trying to use the Christianity as a PR thing or as a psyop or whatever. But
well, okay, let's look at that. Okay, if it's a legitimate religious conversion, a rebirth, then why doesn't he reveal all this stuff that he knows about the music industry and people involved in the cult and all that kind of stuff?
Well, again, that's like why I think I think someone murdered his mom.
Right.
The obvious suspect would be like the Bush family or something, but it could be someone else that he upset. That was obviously, would be a warning to him, but he obviously didn't take that warning that warning wasn't enough, and he's opened his mouth about a lot of things since then. So yeah, one theory is, again, that he's actually satanic, he's actually in the Illuminati, and he's using the Jesus stuff to start the apocalypse or whatever. But I like to think more that maybe he keeps his mouth shut enough to avoid getting plastic surgery complications himself, so to speak. But he still is very off the grid, so to speak. As he has a song on his latest album called "Off the Grid." He still talks a lot of smack, or has a very doesn't really censor himself, but. Yeah, I'm sure that if someone killed your mother, even Kanye could control himself enough to know to stay away from certain subjects. He might know, okay, I can talk a lot of crap about, the media and the culture and the music industry, but okay, I know that if I ever open my mouth about cults or whatever, then I'm gonna OD. And you know what? This is it took me a second, because when you said the Jay-Z sending shooters at my head, I think he said that again, not about Jay-Z, but he did a recent podcast interview last November on this podcast called Drink Champs. And that's like, I say the most unhinged I think I've ever seen him, but like not in like a bipolar way, but like I loved that interview. I think he makes a lot of sense. He's saying a lot of interesting stuff, a lot of true stuff. But in that interview, there's a part where he's going on this rant, and he's saying we are sick of, he has a song called New Slaves, and he's always saying that even us celebrities, we're just slaves to a bunch of white people, a bunch of media, the guys who run the media and everything. And he goes on this rant where he's like screaming, and he's saying, you guys better stop messing with us. He uses more colorful language, but he's saying stop messing with us. And then he says, like, he's saying stop messing with Ice Cube, stop messing with, he's naming a bunch of rappers and celebrities. And then he says, like, y'all are gonna have to find me hanging from a doorknob or OD'd on drugs or something. Like, that's the only way you're going to shut me up. So he literally says, like, and there's other moments in the interview when he says, like, he talks about a story where, like, a cop in Belgium or something pulled a gun on him because thought he was a robber or something. And, like, he says, like, I'm fearless, like, and he gestures, like, grabbing the gun and holding it to his own head. And so, like, that interview is very intense where he's, like, he's not saying anything about Illuminati, or he's not calling out specific names or necessarily exposing anything specifically, but he is saying, like, hinting at, celebrities get murdered for saying the wrong thing, and you guys are going to have to murder me to shut me up because I'm done playing by the rules or whatever. And that was, like I said, that was kind of like the most unhinged I feel I've seen Kanye, directly joking about being suicided.
Right. So before, when you mentioned that he's opened his mouth about certain topics, that
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
would be one of them. But what else?
Well, it's not like he points out specific conspiracies or anything, but in general, he's just always been talking about, the media is controlled by powerful people, right, and they just want to keep things the way they are, and they want to put, like, the rebels and the radicals in their place, and all these celebrities are fake. All these celebrities just follow the script. But
okay, but then let me stop you there, because he got involved with this Kardashian family, who was, it's just a cookie cutter, operation. And he gets involved with them. It seems like they're kicking him out, and he's begging to come back. Yeah, well,
isn't there some psychology stuff about abusive relationships where you a lot of times that is strange. Something I tweeted about this recently. This is something I wanted to bring up. This was like a new revelation for me. Like, I've always thought that the Kardashians are MKing him a bit, or that, like, Kim didn't have the best intentions from the start. Like, at the very least, she saw him as just like another boost for her career after she messed up and married Chris Humphries, who no one was going to care about, like, anymore, and her career was going to go nowhere being married to him. She saw Kanye. I need to marry a legend. I need to marry a superstar to keep me and my family relevant. So at the very least, I think she just, like, preyed on him in that way. But the thing I wanted to bring up was that the other day, he was with Julia Fox recently, and I remember hearing that she was like a former prostitute or dominatrix or something, but I never really thought about it that much. Then I saw a headline like a week ago or a few days ago about Julia Fox was a dominatrix when she was 16. And that obviously raised some alarm bells. And then I thought, okay, the girlfriend he had before Kim was Amber Rose. And I was like, Amber Rose, she was a former stripper. And then I went to look that up, and then I read Amber Rose started stripping at 15 years old and was a 15-year-old stripper to support her family. And so That was definitely a string on the cork board there, because you think about it, he when he blew up, when he first got famous, he had been in a long-time relationship with a girl who was with him before he blew up. That ended. He gets with a former stripper who started stripping at 15. That lasts, I don't know, 1-2 years. Then he gets with Kim Kardashian, who is not necessarily a former sex worker or stripper, but she did blow up from a sex tape, so you could say she is a former sex worker, maybe. And then that ends, and then he goes with Julia Fox, who was a 16-year-old dominatrix. So I had a little thread where I was joking around that, someone's just been sending, let's say fembots, Austin Powers fembots at him to, maybe these are some, sex worker assets that he's has a history of dating. I don't know. I think there's something suspicious. He does admit he's a porn addict and a sex addict, so maybe that's just, maybe he just likes strippers and porn stars. But I don't know. When you hear about, the deep state history of using sex worker assets, it raises some alarm bells to think about.
Reminds me of Courtney Love living with that dominatrix when she was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That's so weird. Like, I mean, okay, there are a lot of people who get trafficked and stuff, but I mean, that's pretty weird coincidence to date two former teenage sex workers.
The whole thing is, I knew about Bruce Jenner, way back during the Tiger Woods story about the sex change. We knew about this way before, okay? Because I'm all deep in these folks. So,
okay.
It's a strange family, okay? And they do a lot of weird stuff, man. And there's some other stuff that's been covered up that's not out there. But what's going on now more recently? He gets involved with this crazy family, okay? Now you just by naivete or they had a spell on him, but he gets involved with this family, right? Now they get rid of him. He wants to come back, and he's got this beef with this Pete Davidson, right? And he's got something he's saying too about Pete Davidson and Hillary Clinton. Well, what's that?
Yeah, let me. I have. He's deleted all these, but I have screenshots in my thread. So the way it started was. Let's see. His first tweet was.
If you want to follow along, you can go to Rap Game Edward Bernays, and it's at Edward_BERNAYS, and you could follow along. You could follow Mr. Bernays.
It's actually 2 underscores, by the way.
Is it? Okay, you're right.
Yeah, and yeah, this was from February 13th, or you can search Kanye off the grid on my profile. First thing he tweets is you don't see Pete's face, but I guess it's a picture of him and Kim holding hands with his head cropped out. And let's see, there's some curse words here. He says, "Look at this, D-head. I wonder if Instagram is going to shut down my page for dissing Hillary Clinton's ex-boyfriend." And the background on that is that, Pete Davidson has a Hillary Clinton tattoo. He's has photographs with her. He loves her. He made some Instagram post about his Hillary Clinton tattoo saying, "Oh, you're so inspiring, blah, blah, blah." So that was the first thing that got me tweeting. I didn't intend to do like a thread on Kanye's Instagram posts, but that just made me laugh so much, him calling Pete Davidson Hillary Clinton's ex-boyfriend. And then he kept posting. The next thing he posted was, he just said, "Thank you to all my..." He posted a screenshot of some replies he got, and he said, "Thank you for all my fans for having my back. You can Google the Hillary thing. I'm not making this up." And and then the caption cuts out. I don't know what went on there. I joked that the Illuminati was blocking his tweets or his Instagram posts. But then he says he posts a picture of the Hillary tattoo or the actual Pete Davidson Instagram post, and he says, "When I tag people, I'm just putting together the web. There are a group of people who run media and the election. Thank God for free speech." And he has tagged on the tattoo the Ellen Show Instagram. So he tags Ellen and accuses her of running the media and the election. Then this is where we get into the Disney stuff. He he tags this parody Bob Iger account.
Right.
I hope it's a parody. I was wondering, could this be like Bob Iger's alt? But like he wrote. So he posts this like meme of him and Pete facing off as, I don't know, some Marvel characters or something. He says this ain't about Skeet. He calls him Skeet. It's about selling y'all a narrative. Skeet just playing his part in Frozen 3, except it's not in the theater. Except it's not in the theaters this time. It's on Daily Mail. Tell Bob and the entire Disney staff you wasted your money on Star Wars and Marvel because even though it makes money, you will never control the high schools. No one ever heard a Machine Gun Kelly song, Bob. So he, he bashes Disney for saying that they bought Marvel and Star Wars to target the youth. Then the next thing he posts... Oh, yeah, he posts a screenshot of a tweet about those accusations against Pete Davidson where people claim, and I haven't looked into this too much, but people claim that when Ariana Grande broke up with Mac Miller and got with Pete Davidson, apparently Pete texted some sort of explicit photos to Mac Miller or something. So the caption on this tweet that Kanye poses says, it's kind of cut off. You can't read the whole tweet, but have sent intimate photos with Ariana to Mac Miller with a way to end the rapper's hopes of rekindling a relationship with her. Ariana discovered this weeks by Mac's relatives and ended the relationship. And then Kanye's caption is no comment. So he called out Pete Davidson saying, you killed Mac Miller by texting him nudes or something of Ariana Grande. So that was pretty...
well, how did Mac Miller die? Suicide?
I think overdose.
Oh, okay.
I think like fentanyl or pills or something. But yeah, it was like an OD. But he had like struggled with depression, I think, for a while and struggled with drugs. And he was with Ariana Grande, and then they broke up. And then, and then I don't know how long afterwards it was, but I guess he just kind of spiraled and OD'd.
Right.
But then the whole, the theory is that... or the rumor is that it was Pete Davidson that, kind of drove him to the overdose by texting him certain photos.
But the thing is, Bob Iger, back to Bob Iger, what's his role in all this? What is Kanye accusing him of? Financing this?
Well, yeah, let's see. I'm going to get to... there's another one where he kind of ties it all up. Let me find that one, because I posted so many posts, but... I think it's this one. Yeah, okay, here. This is where he kind of gives his thesis. The one I read before about this isn't Frozen, or he's playing his part in Frozen 3. Yeah. He tweeted, he posted a picture of that, and then he said he thanked a fan account called Yandi Memes, but then he says, this is what this means. Disney owns Hulu. Disney wants to influence a wider age group. Disney assigned the actor Skeet, that's Pete Davidson, to serve in some bigger narrative, but for some reason refused to give a stylist. I wrote that last part intentionally to be funny. I joke while expressing my side, just like SNL, which is also gang with Disney. Bob bought Marvel and Disney to gain more influence in the teenage market. Ellen and Hillary been whispering in Kim's ear for years. Wow. Skeet been wearing fake Trump hats to ridicule me for not being in my black place as a voter and throwing shots at me about my mental health. He's a pawn. I'm not crazy. I wouldn't have had such a big impact on culture for the past 20 years if I was. This is the real narrative. Everyone else is afraid. But now that they played with my family, it's up. So yeah, that's where he kind of gives the game away, I guess, or his conspiracy theory.
And what do you make of it?
I mean, none of these captions sound crazy to me. I can buy all of this, what he's saying. What confuses me is, as you said, why is he so keen on getting back with Kim?
Right.
Like, I was going to say this earlier about, I think he really did. I've seen interviews, and when he talks about her, and he did seem to genuinely love her. And I remember one comment that stuck in my head was he said, like, the reason me and Kim love each other, or the reason Kim is right for me is because she's like one of the few people in the world who doesn't want my money. Like, she's as rich as I am, and like, so that's why we can love each other as people, because she's not just after my money. Which, of course, as I said earlier, I think he's a little delusional about that he doesn't realize that part of the reason why she's as rich as she is because she got with him and sort of rode his wave. And I don't think that she was, unaware of the impact to her career that getting with him would have. But I, when I post about Kanye, most people hate him, and they say he's satanic, he's in the Illuminati, this is all a performance, this is all a distraction. And yeah, I'm not going to rule that out. I think this could all just be kayfabe. This could all just be PR stunt. This could be, maybe he's part of the Disney Hulu gang, and this is just a way to boost, get him and Pete and Kim, keep them all in the news cycle, promote it. He's got a new album coming out next week, which he's like going to launch it on some like MP3 player or something that he's just announced today. Yeah, his own device. This I do, I will say I am open-minded to that. I'm not ruling that out. Kanye could be just an actor. All of this stuff, all of his controversies, he could just be playing a part. He could just be playing the jester or the clown, as part of the media circus. And I don't rule that out. Maybe he does. But what I usually say about that is that when you watch Kanye's interviews and when you see him get either angry or emotional and talk about this wild stuff, about the media being controlled and blah, 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 like, he is so sincere. So what I say is, if Kanye is an actor, if he's just playing a part and he's actually just a satanic Illuminati member, he's like the greatest actor in the world. He's like better than Daniel Day-Lewis, because, I mean, he is so genuine and convincing when he talks about this stuff. So that's why I lean more towards, I think that...
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If we go back to where I started, he did this Bush thing. His mom dies. He's had all these other controversies, the VMA things. I think that he has been, let's say, whoever it is, the government, the media, the industry, has been trying to, capitalism has been trying to control him. He is an amazing artist. His music makes a lot of money for a lot of people. And then also, he is great for a lot of media companies because of all the clicks he generates. So I think he's been like in this tug of war maybe with the industry or, people behind the curtains of the industry who have been trying to control him, trying to MK him, trying to get him to, Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because now... we got this drama, right? This wrestling drama going back and forth with him and Pete, right? Right at the same time this documentary just hit, right at the same time he's putting out this new album on a device that he's selling, right? So there's a lot of stuff here. Now, are you familiar too? I was told that recently some outtakes from the Kardashians came out that make him look bad, complaining about Band-Aids and stuff.
No.
Might have just hit.
No, I don't think so.
Now, what do you make of when we're trying to get into his head, okay? And not like Jay-Z is trying to get in, but we're trying to get in. But by the way, Jay-Z's no slouch either. No, the thing is, what do you make of his relationship with Trump? There was that really bizarre Oval Office conversation where he was calling him daddy. You're like my daddy. What do you make of all that?
So about the Trump, I'm also... I'm very anti-Trump, whatever. I'm as left as you can get. But, well, first of all, my take on Trump is that Trump is like a political Kanye, that he's just playing a part. He's just an actor, a professional wrestler doing Vince McMahon stuff. But the thing is, people come at me on Twitter. They say, hey, look at him hanging out with Marilyn Manson right now after he's canceled. Are you still going to say Kanye's a good guy? And it's like, yeah, that I hate seeing him hang out with Marilyn Manson. But my one explanation for that is that Kanye has been demonized for almost 2 decades. He's been so ridiculed by, the entire media that I think he's maybe, as a way to cope with that, he's become a sort of contrarian to cancel culture or whatever, that I think he likes to root for the underdog, or anyone that the media is hating against. Kanye automatically wants to take their side because he sees them on his side. And that's kind of when people asked him, like, why are you supporting Trump? Like, he never said he liked Trump's. It was nothing political. It's like, I don't even know what Trump's politics are. I just like that he goes up there and he doesn't, give a damn about the media or what anyone thinks of him. And yeah, he called Trump a superhero. And it's like, well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense psychologically, that Kanye is also a guy who goes on stage and says what's on his mind without caring about the consequences. And, he's been unfairly demonized for many things where, he has said cringy things. He has said things worth mockery. But a lot of the hate he's got, he said absolutely nothing wrong, but it was something that didn't drive well with the capitalist media industry. So, they chop into a soundbite and dogpile on him. So I think that, and that's what that St. Pablo tour rant when he got thrown in the mental hospital, that's what he was mainly ranting about, saying, like, the media lied about politics. They said, oh, Hillary's going to win, and they were wrong. And, like, how do you feel that you got lied to by the media and Google and Facebook? So I think that, and what he was also mad about was, like, he's like, I don't want to support Hillary. They want me to go up and support Hillary. They try to get me to do, PSAs for Hillary or whatever. And I don't mess with Hillary. I hate Hillary. What has the Democrats ever done for black people, for my culture? So I think that he just did. I think it was just like him, he always likes to take the side of whoever the media hates. But I tweeted this today, I retweeted this thread from 2018. There is a theory that Kanye did all of that stuff as performance art, that he was very self-aware of it, and that he was doing all these cryptic tweets around that time, and with his creative director named Tremaine Emory, who just got named creative director of Supreme, they were both doing these cryptic tweets, tweeting about Andy Kaufman and tweeting about this other, like, performance artist from a long time ago, early 1900s or something. And it seemed like they were posting these juggling emojis, and it seemed like they were hinting at, like, this is all, I'm doing all this as a performance. This is all an act. I'm embracing, if you look at the thread that I retweeted today, it breaks it down. But I've heard the theory that basically Kanye made a deal with the government or with the Trump administration. He said, I want to do some good things. Trump, I will play the fool. I will play the idiot. I will get dogpiled for supporting you if you help do some prison reform stuff. So that's the more sympathetic take on that Kanye might have, like, been willing to, like, okay, Trump, I'll be a character in your circus. Let's do this whole thing. But I'm only doing it to help get some black people out of prison, and
there is that footage of him visiting Trump Tower during the primary.
And that's a creepy video. That was right when he got out of the mental hospital, when he had the blonde hair and he just stares at the cameras and says nothing. It's super weird.
Yeah, he says, I don't want to talk right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was weird, right? But listen, we are out of time. In like 30 seconds, can you wrap it up?
I've just that Kanye, I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying he doesn't do embarrassing things or disappointing things, but I think that just people need to take a second look because the entire media has been against him for like 15, 20 years, and I think it's much more complicated than that. And I think Kanye is basically in a Britney-type situation, and the same way we used to laugh at Britney for being crazy, but now we all realize she was a prisoner or whatever in her own home.
I'll tell you this, man. Britney's going to wind up back in supervision. You'll see.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with all that. She's
right.
Yeah, she's not in shape.
Okay.
But Rap Game, Edward Bernays, thank you so much. Fascinating stuff. If anything new happens with Kanye, we'll bring it back, man, because this is all good stuff. And I got a feeling something's going to happen with the guy, right?
All right. I would love to be your resident Kanye expert.
Rap Game, Edward Bernays on Twitter. You can find him there and follow it. It has pictures and screenshots of everything. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks, Ed.
Bye.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.